Good morning, friends, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lissa, and I am the soap chef here on this channel where we make all things with a rather good lather. In today's episode of What's Cooking, we're going to go and do a little experiment over there at Creation Station today and see what all the brouhaha is all about regarding animal fats in soap. Do we like them? Do we not like them? What's the dealio as far as lather is concerned? Is it better? Is it the same? I don't know. Why don't we go and check it out together? So we're over here at Creation Station, and I think we're going to do a little bit of an experiment today on some different types of fats that you can use in making your soap. And we're going to do a lather test at the end of all of this and see what all the brouhaha is about using animal fats as opposed to vegetable fats. When I first started soap making, I only used lard, and it produced thick, creamy, luxurious, beautiful lather, and I loved it. And then quickly my customers let me know, no bueno, we don't want to use animal products on our skin. And then the next time they would come back and ask me for goat milk. So okay, do you want to use animal products or don't you? I don't know, you guys are confusing me. At any rate, so I've been soaping for the majority, I guess, I've been soaping vegan. I have used beeswax, I've used honey, I have used the goat milk, I've used silk, so all those things are animal products, as we all know. And in the beginning, when I was young and naive, I really didn't think about those type of things. I thought, well, let me add some beeswax and still call it vegan. Nope. All right, well, I'm going to put some honey in my dead sea mud, and I'm still going to call that vegan. Nope. Well, how about if I put some Tussa silk in my lye water, and that's vegan? Nope. I was really naive about all that kind of stuff, and I didn't really stop to think what it actually means to call something vegan and steer completely away from animal products for those people that don't want to use that. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do right across the board 25% on each one of these things. I've got some olive oil. I've got Crisco that has the palm in it, the all vegetable shortening, but it's got the palm in it. Coconut, and then we're going to go 3 different batches with animal fats. We're going to be using, and I wanted you guys, I left these the way that they were. I didn't shake them, I didn't stir them, I didn't do anything. So you guys can see from a refrigerated section of the store, air conditioning, what things look like. So this is your lard, and I spent way too much on these, you guys, way too much. Don't get your stuff from a grocery store. It's god awful expensive. Anyways, here is your pork fat, which is your lard, and you can see the consistency here. It's pretty solid still. Nothing has really separated out. Then we've got your beef tallow. That definitely has separated out your oils. So we're going to have to mix and stir that. And then I thought, just for funsies, why not? Let's put some duck fat in the mix too. We're going to make some soap out of all 3 of these, and then we're going to do the lather test, and we're going to see what all of this brouhaha is about. So give me a few seconds, you guys. I'm going to measure out everything in equal portions. I've got my recipes here. I'll show you guys quickly. Which one is this? That's the lard. There's the tallow. There goes the tallow. And here's the duck fat. And so I just made little notations on the bottom of these. If you go by these numbers, which a lot of people do, these are good for a guideline to get you kind of on the right track when you're formulating your soap recipes, but these are not really true numbers, you guys. So use these very loosely and just as a guideline. But I made my little notations down the bottom there of which one of these is more conditioning or less conditioning, more hard than the others, etc., etc. So give me just a few minutes. I'm going to measure everything out. I'm going to melt everything down, and then we're going to get started making all of these soaps. Hold, please. So I have to apologize, you guys. I don't know what happened when I cut off the video before when I was measuring everything out and melting everything down. I thought I pressed record again on the phone, but obviously I did not, so I don't have any of the footage of me actually making all 3 of those soaps. So I'm extremely disappointed about that. I don't have the time today to redo all of that, so I'm sorry. I apologize. You guys aren't going to get to see me making it, but at least we can talk about some things regarding tallow and lard and duck fat, and maybe some myths or misconceptions versus fact. Because I'm sure we all want our customers to be informed, and we want them to choose the soaps that we make because we trust what goes into them, but we want them to trust it as well. So let's talk about tallow first, and one of the myths that people think about tallow. One of the things being that, you know, it's created with an animal byproduct, so it can't possibly be good for the environment. That's false. Tallow soap actually is very sustainable, unlike palm oil, unless you get the sustainable palm oil, which I'm sure that we all do. In this day and age, we all should be doing that, and all of our suppliers, I do believe, are selling the sustainable palm oils. But if we're not using the sustainable palm oil, you know, that's coming from deforestation, really massive deforestation. And so using tallow, it's using animal byproducts that typically will go to waste. When you're using like the pasture-based tallow, it's made by rendering the suet, and that's generally considered to be waste within the farming industry, because the primary harvest for most meat-based farms anyhow is the meat that people are going to consume. And once those parts are harvested and used, the suet and the other stuff that are considered to be, I guess, non-traditional, those are all wasted. And so actually tallow soap helps to eliminate the waste by utilizing all of the remaining tallow for your soaps and your balms. So how about a fact regarding tallow? How about when people say that tallow-based soaps moisturize their skin better? Well, that's actually true. Tallow has a high percentage of oleic acid, which is a very well-known skin conditioner. It's a non-essential fatty acid found in human sebum, actually. So there's a wide range of positive effects on the skin, including it acts as an emollient and a moisturizer. It aids in skin regeneration, it helps to reduce inflammation, and it's readily absorbed by the skin. It can help the absorption of other important molecules like omega-3 fatty acids, and all of those type of things play an important role in inflammation and the reduction of bad cholesterol. And so the similarities between the oleic acid within the tallow and our own human sebum allows all the vitamins and the nutrients to be absorbed into your body much easier, and it locks in the moisture and nutrients without clogging your pores. Which brings me to the next myth about how tallow soap can clog your pores. That's false. Tallow soaps actually are really rich in oleic acid, like I just mentioned, so it's a good skin conditioner. And because it contains a similar fat content to our own human skin, that makes it more easily absorbable into our skin. And when we use these types of soaps more regularly, it helps to build up our own natural sebum, which creates, healthy looking, soft and supple skin. So that's definitely a myth as far as clogging your pores is concerned. How about another fact? That tallow soaps have more nutrients than other soaps. For instance, how about all these different vitamins that tallow has? It has A, D, E, K, and B12. So all of those type of things contribute to your skin health and the appearance of your skin. And the fat saturation of tallow, because it's so close to our own human fat, the vitamins within that can be absorbed into your body way more easily. And it locks in the moisture and the nutrients without clogging your pores. And in comparison to palm oil, which has a really high content of vitamin E and vitamin A, the tallow actually has more benefits, making it even better than the palm oil, even though they both have amazing benefits and the natural oils that are in both of those, but the tallow actually has more nutrients. A really big question that a lot of people have, and a lot of, I guess you can call it a myth, that people think is that tallow-based soaps have a meat smell. Now, to my nose, I absolutely can smell that odor, that meat odor. I can smell that. However, that being said, I've soaped with tallow many times before, and I've never had that come through in the finished product. Never. Because if your tallow is rendered and strained correctly, your soap's not going to smell like meat. And keep in mind that we're going to scent our soaps. We're not going to leave them unscented. So the essential oils or the fragrance oils are going to help with that as well. Another fact, which is a really good one about tallow, is it helps to soothe your dry and cracked skin. So we've already mentioned all the different nutrients and all the vitamins that are contained within tallow and the fat saturation of it and how it is very, very close to the fat in our own human skin. So all of these things, especially if you're going to make the tallow into some type of a balm or a lotion or a cream or a body butter or something like that, they are great skin conditioners for dry, chapped, cracked, sun-damaged skin. If you have any type of a rash or calluses, itching, burning, wrinkles, anything like that, tallow soaps are going to give your skin the nutrients to help it heal itself and to retain all of those nutrients and the moisture properties. And so another myth, and one that's highly debatable, that all tallow soaps are created equal. I would say that that's kind of false, and that is all dependent, really, like any other product that we use. It depends on where you get that product from and how that product was created or manufactured or raised or rendered, what have you. So depending on the type of the suet that it was used to make that tallow, there could be really wildly differences, in the final product. And if at all possible, try to get your suet, your tallow from grass-raised, grass-fed cattle. That's what I did today. You guys saw a little bit of the video in the beginning where I at least showed you the jars of the tallow and the lard and the duck fat that I'm going to be using. And they were all either cage-free, raised, or grass-fed, and things like that, as humanely as possible so that these animals can graze freely and live a happy life. And so those are some facts about beef tallow. What about lard, though? Pig fat. Let's talk about that and some of the myths versus facts regarding that. Some of them are the same as far as the beef tallow is concerned. One is that people wrongly assume that lard is going to clog your pores and damage your skin, which is completely untrue. It actually benefits your skin because it's really mild and moisturizing and conditions very well, just like beef tallow. I think that one of the misconceptions that consumers have is that our lard and tallow soaps are going to be like the same as what they could buy in the grocery store, which contains really, harsh chemicals. And so they may not realize that it's the synthetic detergents and those chemicals that's going to damage your skin and not the lard. Of course, any butter or oil or fat can cause damage to anyone at any time. I mean, some people actually have bad reactions to shea butter or olive oil. So, of course, you may get a consumer here or there that's going to have a negative reaction to a lard or a tallow soap. But, it's bound to happen because anybody can be allergic or have a reaction to anything. I guess the bottom line is to really be diligent about our labeling on all of our products and what we are putting into the pot or what is coming out of the pot. That's another highly debatable subject. I'm not even going to broach that today. No, thank you, please. Don't want the, label police to come after me. It's just that it kind of turns some people off when you put animal products on your label, but we have to. And then it's up to the consumers to use their own good judgment on whether or not they want to use that product. As far as soap makers are concerned, a lot of soap makers will tell you that using tallow produces a harder bar that lasts longer and lathers better than lard. Just remember that both of those fats from different animals have completely different characteristics. And so the fatty acid makeup is entirely different, and the two of them are just, unique substances on their own, but they are different, as we will see when we do the lather test. Both of those ingredients, however, do need to be rendered before you can use them to make soap. As far as the duck fat is concerned, it has the fatty acid profile, which is very, very similar to the pig fat, to the lard, so the same kind of principles apply there. But enough of all of this yammering. Why don't we get to the lather test and see what the differences are between all three of these different soaps. Okay, friends, it is the next day and we are back to unmold our soap that we made yesterday that you guys never got to see me making. I apologize one more time for that. But I did in fact make all of these. And so here on this upper corner, we've got our duck fat soap. Over on this side, we've got our pork fat, which is our lard. And then over on this side, we've got our beef fat, which is our tallow. I apologize, the lighting is horrendous here today. It is way late in the day. The sun shines directly through these windows right here at the facility, shines right down on my table. I'm so sorry. This whole video, you guys, my apologies. This is awful. But needless to say, we're going to get right to things anyhow, okay? We're just going to do this. Okay, so the first one that we made yesterday was our duck fat. So let's go ahead and unmold that. I'm just going to unmold these sample pieces. So this is what it looks like. It's still a little bit soft. I really didn't wait long enough. So it's still a little bit soft. So this is our duck fat. By the way, in the making of this, which you guys didn't get to see, I'm sorry, I added 3 milliliters of lavender essential oil to every one of these because I'm going to go ahead and use these. And I want to have some scent with my soap. All right, this one is our beef, this is our pork. So this is our lard. Still quite soft. That's just because I'm unmolding it sooner rather than later. And the last one is going to be our beef tallow. They all look exactly alike to me, my eyeball. This one's starting to go through a little bit of gel, you can see here. All right, so we've got all of those. Let's get this out of the way. We're gonna do our lather test. Okay, let's start with our duck fat and see how that fares. Now this is really, really, really fresh, brand new soap. So you are not going to have the same experience as you would if this has had enough time to have everything cure out and that water weight evaporate. But you know, right off the bat, this is so creamy and luxurious. It's delightful. And the reason why I used the recipe that I did was because Mrs. Soap and Clay did her little demonstration the other day regarding aluminum and whether or not we should be using aluminum when we're making our soap and having our soap batter, our raw soap batter, come in contact with aluminum and what that will or will not do. And the recipe that she used rather is from a prepper. And this is like the recipe that he used. He used the lard, the Crisco from the store, olive oil, and coconut. And so, you know, she was really loving the lather that was produced by that. So that's why I used the Crisco, the coconut, the olive, and then each one of these fats from animals, individual. But as you can see, that was our duck fat, and it produces really, really nice bubbles. Really nice bubbles. Silky and creamy right off the bat, okay? So that's our duck fat. Next, let's do our pork fat. So this is the lard. So this is going to be comparable to that gentleman, that prepper who made the soap, because this is what he used. He used 25% of each one of those. I used 25% of each one of those. Again, this is just delightful. These bubbles are magnificent. And it's so creamy. It's just so creamy, you guys. It's beautiful, beautiful lather. It feels delightful, so rich and silky. Love that, which is why I did nothing but lard soap for probably like for the first 2 years that I was soaping. I wasn't really selling then, but oh my goodness, delightful. All right, so that was our pork fat, our lard. And last but not least, let's try out our beef tallow, shall we? All right, let's see what you have to offer here, buddy. Now, I'm not feeling as rich or creamy or thick of a lather with the beef tallow as I did with the duck fat and the lard. It's not as dense, it's not as heavy, it's not as thick, but it's still really delightful and producing a fantastic bubble factor. Fantastic. Made a mess all over my table, but that's okay. All right, so that would be my third choice if I was going to be making animal fat soaps. I would go with duck fat or lard before I would go with tallow based on my personal experience. Yours may be wildly different, but there you go, you guys. If anybody was ever questioning, you know, why would we use animal fats in our products? What's the big deal about it? Well, because it produces a really thick, creamy, luxurious lather that is absolutely delightful. And in my personal opinion, and it's factually based, it's more moisturizing for you than vegetable oils. So you guys make your own choices. Our consumers are going to make their own choices. But this was a lot of fun doing this experiment. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And we'll get back together again pretty soon, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Until we meet again, be kind and stay humble. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon.